from BEL2, and we have the group 5, and I am the first reporter, and my topic it is all about the individual differences in learning. So before we proceed, we should know what is differences in learning. So an effective and productive learning and teaching process can be planned by considering the individual differences of the students. We have concept of individual differences in learning. What makes an individual different from others? What makes it unique? No two individuals are exactly the same. So each student is a unique individual, different in cognitive and effective development, social maturity, ability, motivation, aspiration, learning styles, needs, interest, and potentials. So we have the two factors underlying the students' differences. The first is heredity, and the second one is environment. In heredity refers to the genetic traits and characteristics that students inherit from their parents, influencing their abilities, personally, and learning styles. And the environment naman refers to the external factors that affect students such as family, culture, socioeconomic status, school, and community, shaping their experiences, opportunities, and learning outcomes. According to Carter B., good individual differences stands for the variation of deviations among individuals in regard to a single characteristic of number of characters. So what do you think are the differences between an individual learning? First is difference in attitude. Second one is difference in interest. Third is difference in psychomotor skills. And fourth is difference in values. And the number 5 is difference in habit. Next is let's proceed to the different styles of learning. We have the 7 learning styles. The first is interpersonal, intrapersonal, kinesthetic, verbal, visual, logical, and auditory. So interpersonal learning through interactions with others, like group work and discussions. The interpersonal naman is learning through self-reflection and individual work. And kinesthetic learning is learning through hands-on experience and physical activities. In verbal learning through words, language, and verbal instructions. In visual learning, this learning through images, diagrams, and visual aids. In logical learning through reasoning, patterns, and problem solving. In auditory learning through sound, music, and oral instructions. Children with special needs. We have 4 major types of special needs of children. First is physical, the second one is development, the third one is behavioral, and the last is sensory impaired. In physical, disabilities affecting the body such as cerebral palsy or muscular dystrophy. And the second one is development, delays in cognitive, social, or adaptive skills such as autism or Down syndrome. And behavioral, challenges with emotional regulations, social interactions, or mental health such as ADHD or anxiety disorders. And the sensory impaired, these disabilities affects sight or hearing such as blindness, low vision, deafness, or hard of hearing. Diversity in designing and assessing learning activities. Recognizing learners' needs. Recognizing learner needs, understanding and acknowledging the diverse abilities, interests, and backgrounds of learners to create inclusive learning experience. And the developing entity and design, creating learning activities that cater to different learning styles, abilities, and needs, making learning accessible and engaging for all. And applying empathy in design, designing learning experience with learners' perspective and mind, understanding their challenges, and creating supportive and inclusive learning environment. Design approaches to address learners. First is we need to differentiated instructions or DI. And universal design for learning, and the lesson is culturally relevant education. It is not our difference that divides us. It is our inability to recognize, accept, and celebrate those differences, by Audre Lorde. Thank you for listening.
So good day everyone. Today I will be discussing about learning and diversity. When we say learning, it is acquiring knowledge, skills, attitude, and experiences or teaching. And other diversity, it is the refers to a variety of difference among people in terms of culture, language, religion, gender. So, learning and diversity involves recognizing that every learner is unique and comes from a variety of backgrounds. So, lahat naman ng estudyante is nanggaling sa mga unique and variety of backgrounds, which is why educators must use inclusive practices to accommodate different strengths, needs, and learning styles. So, next is embracing diversity leads to a richer learning environment where students develop critical thinking, self-awareness, and respect for others, ultimately contributing to a more inclusive society. So, dito si diversity in learning, gina-embrace niya yung ng bata, yung critical thinking ng bata at self-awareness and also respect for others. So, understanding learning diversity. First, we have individual differences. Learning vary in different race, ethnicity, gender, sexual orientation, socioeconomic status, age, physical abilities. So, lahat naman is mayroong pagkakaiba. So, lahat ng tao is may pagkaiba-iba in terms of physical abilities, age, gender, and sexuality. So, understandable naman siya. Next, we have diverse backgrounds. So, students come from different culture, social, and linguistic backgrounds which shapes their perspective and experiences. So, lahat ng bata is nanggaling sa iba't ibang culture, social, and linguistic background. So, dito natin nalalaman yung mga perspective ng isang bata at saka experiences. So, next, we have varied needs. This includes learners with disabilities, giftedness, or those in difficult circumstances. So, dito napaloob si varied needs is yung mga disabilities na bata at saka giftedness. And also, difficult circumstances na mga bata. Next, we have different learning styles. So, students may have different ways of learning such as visual, auditory, or kinesthetic learning styles. So, lahat naman ng mga bata is may mga different learning styles. So, dito napaloob siya sa learning diversity. So, meron din learning ways ng bata in such as visual, auditory, or kinesthetic way. So, next is benefits or diversity and learning. So, first, we have enhanced cognitive development. So, ang benefits ng learning diversity is na-enhance yung cognitive ng isang bata. And also, na-improve din yung critical thinking ng isang bata. Next is increased self-awareness. Exposure to different backgrounds helps students better understand themselves and their unique experiences. So, dito is, si learning diversity is gina-increase niya yung self-awareness ng isang bata. Ginapaintindi dito sa bata na yung experiences nila is unique yun siya, kakaiba. So, improve social harmony. So, dito sa diverse learning is na-improve yung social harmony ng isang bata. Integrating diversity into the classroom can foster greater understanding and respect among students from different groups. So, dito, ginapaintindi mo sa bata na kakaiba yung mga na-experience nila. And also, mas ginapaintindi mo sa bata na respect niya yung ibang groups na kung anong meron sa kanila kasi iba-iba sila ng paniniwala. Next is preparation for a diverse world. Students learn to collaborate and thrive in a diverse workforce and society. So dito, gina-prepare mo yung bata kung paano maki-encounter sa another world, kung paano maki-collaborate and maki-workforce sa society. So, strategies for inclusive learning environment. So first, we have differentiated instruction. Provide varied teaching methods and materials to meet the diverse needs of all students. So dito is nag-prepare ka ng different instructions sa bata kung paano ang mga methods mo and materials na i-prepare mo. Then, also, ginabigay mo ang needs ng isang bata dito. Next, we have Universal Design for Learning, or UDL. Present information in multiple ways, provide multiple means of expression, and engage students with a variety of interests. So dito is aims to remove barriers by offering varied options for goals, methods, materials, and assessment, ensuring all learners have an equal opportunity to succeed regardless of their abilities, disabilities, background, or other differences. Next is culturally relevant curriculum. Use diverse examples and perspectives that are relevant to the students and the classroom. Dito is it weaves cultural perspective into the core content, fostering a sense of belonging and improve academic performance by using students' existing knowledge and experience as an asset. Next is high expectation for all. Communicate high expectation for academic success to all students. So, dito is napaloob yung high expectation for all. So, dito nag-expect ng high academic success sa lahat ng mga students. Next is data-driven instruction. Monitor students' growth and use data to provide tailored support and instruction. So, dito is monitor mo yung growth ng isang bata and also nag-provide ka ng data to tailored support and instruction. So last is mentorship program. So offer support programs to help students from diverse backgrounds succeed. So dito kung may mag-offer man para ma-support yung programs ng isang bata is para mas ma-succeed yung backgrounds ng isang bata. So that's all for my report, and thank you.
Once again, my name is Garlene Fitchi Balog, the reporter of Legal and Policy Frameworks and Learner-Centered Teaching, Republic Act 10533. So before we start to our formal discussion, so let me read to you our objectives. So our lesson has three main objectives. So first, to internalize the basic laws on education and their implementation. Second, to recognize the importance of Republic Act 10533. And the last, to understand how this law, the Enhanced Basic Education Act of 2013, shapes the education system that we have today. Education is the foundation of a strong nation. Tama, di ba? Because through education, we develop not only knowledge and skills, but also the values that help us become productive citizens. However, for our education system to truly improve, there must be strong legal and policy framework that guides how learning should happen. And that's exactly what we'll talk about today. One of the most important laws in our Philippine education system is the Republic Act 10533, also known as Enhanced Basic Education Act of 2013. So, ano nga ba yung Republic Act 10533 or the Enhanced Basic Education Act of 2013? So, it was made to strengthen and improve the Philippine basic education system. So, by enhancing the curriculum and adding more years to the basic education, this is what we call now K-12 program. So, it was approved on May 15, 2013 by former President Benigno Simeon Aquino III and took effect on June 8, 2013. Reasons for implementing the K-12 program. So now, bakit nga ba ipinatupad sa Pilipinas ang K-12 program? So here are the main reasons. So first, poor quality education. So the old system was too short and lacked depth, so the students were not globally competitive. Second, too many non-practical subjects. So some subjects were not applicable to real life, work, or future careers. Third, not prepared for college. So, many students graduated in high school without maturity or hindi pa sila ready for college. And then, Number 4 is too young for labor force. So graduates were only around 16 years old. So still young to work. So yung mga 16 years old na students, graduate nga sila pero still pa din silang, bata pa din sila para sa pagtatrabaho. And the last, no global recognition. So the 10-year basic education system was not recognized internationally, which affected students wanting to study or work abroad.
So what's more inside the RA 10533? So in section 2, which is the declaration of policy, the state shall establish, maintain, and support a complete, adequate, and integrated system of education relevant to the needs of the people, the country, the society at large. So here in section 2, which is the declaration of policy, dito sinasabi na tungkulin ng gobyerno na magbigay ng kumpleto at maayos na education system na makakatugon sa pangangailangan natin at ng ating bansa. Next, section 3, which is the basic education. So it is intended to meet basic learning needs, which provides the foundation on which subsequent learning can be based. Ibig sabihin, ito ay tumutukoy sa basic learning needs ng mga estudyante. Kumbaga, ito ang foundation ng lahat ng pag-aaral mula kinder hanggang senior high. In order to meet these learning needs, the education system encompasses the 1 year for kindergarten, 6 years for elementary education, and 6 years in secondary education. Next, section 4 is to enhance basic education. So please look at the screen. So if we notice the image, we can say that the kindergarten in K to 12 is prerequisite or 5 years old, while in Beck curriculum it is not. Next is the elementary education, which is composed of 6 years education from grade 1 to grade 6. Then the junior high school, which composed of 4 years from grade 7 to grade 10. And then in senior high school, which is composed of 2 years. So from grade 11 to grade 12. So if we compare and contrast the K to 12 curriculum to Beck curriculum of 2002, we can easily conclude that Beck curriculum has only 10 years of basic education, while the K to 12 has 12 years of basic education, but the age requirement of these two curriculum are the same.
Next, Section 5 Curriculum Development. So, DepEd shall formulate the design and details of the education curriculum, and DepEd shall work with CHED and TESDA, and DepEd shall undertake consultation to other national government, agencies, and stakeholders. So, dito sa Section 5, which is the Curriculum Development, ang DepEd ang gumagawa at nagsasaayos ng curriculum. Pero nakikipag-collaborate din sila ito sa CHED at TESDA para na sa ganun masigurado na connected pa din yung basic and higher education. Kasama din dito yung ibang ahensya at stakeholders.
Section 6 Curriculum Consultative Committee. So here, we have Commission on Higher Education or CHED, Technical Education Skills and Development Authority, TESDA, Department of Labor and Employment, DOLE, Philippine Regulatory Commission, PRC, Department of Science and Technology, DOST, and Information Technology Business Process Outsourcing or ITBPO. So, dito sa Section 6 Curriculum Consultative Committee, may mga agencies tulad ng CHED, TESDA, DOLE, PRC, DOST, at ITBPO na tumutulong sa pag-update ng curriculum para maging tugma sa mga trabaho sa hinaharap. So, let's proceed in Section 7, which is the Teacher Education and Training. So, dito nakasaad na dapat patuloy na tinuturuan at tinitrain ang mga teachers hindi lang sa subject, content, kundi pati na din sa teaching strategies at leadership. So next, Section 8, which is the hiring of graduates of science, mathematics, statistics, engineering, and other specialists in subjects with a shortage of qualified applicants, technical vocational courses, and higher education's institution faculty. Next, Section 9, which is career guidance and counseling advocacy. So the DepEd in a coordination with DOLE, TESDA, and DCHED shall regularly conduct career advocacy activities for secondary level. So according to Sec 27 of Republic Act 9258 or Guidance and Counseling Act of 2004. So, dito sa Section 9, ang DepEd, CHED, TESDA at DOLE ay nagsasagawa ng career guidance para nang sa ganun matulungan ng mga estudyante na pumili ng tamang strand at career path. And the last, Section 10, which is the expansion of EGASTPE beneficiaries. So, the benefits accorded by Republic Act number 8545 or the expanded government assistance to students and teachers in Private Education Act shall be extended to qualified students enrolled under K-12. So, dito sa Section 10, mas pinalawak ang tulong pinansyal para sa mga estudyante, lalo na sa mga mag-aaral doon sa private school. So, para na sa ganun, mas marami ang makinabang sa education assistance. So, what is the importance of Enhanced Basic Education Act of 2013? So, first, for preparedness for tertiary learning. So, di ba? Para mas maging handa ang mga estudyante sa college. Second, readiness to join the workforce. So, para mas maging ready rin sila sa trabaho. And the last is skill competency in the global job. So, at mas maging competitive tayong mga Pilipino sa ibang bansa. So, in summary, Republic Act 10533 or the Enhanced Basic Education Act of 2013 is not just about adding school years. It's about improving the quality of education. So, dahil sa batas na ito, mas handa na ang mga estudyante, mas trained na ang mga teachers, at mas world-class na ang ating education system. And that's all for my report about Republic Act 10533.
The K-12 framework. My name is Althea Sandy Grace Bigkas. So, what is the K-12 framework? The K-12 program covers kindergarten and 12 years of basic education, 6 years of primary education, 4 years of junior high school, and 2 years of senior high school to provide sufficient time for mastery of concept and skills, develop lifelong learners, and prepare graduates for tertiary education, middle-level skills development, employment, and entrepreneurship. What is the purpose of K-12 curriculum in the Philippines? The K-12 system aims to improve Filipino students' skills in mathematics, science, and linguistics to further exhibit competence in the global job market. With new curriculum, the Department of Education promised to offer higher quality of education through the strands. The K-12 curriculum, Section 5 of the Enhanced Basic Education Act of 2013 stipulates the curriculum developers adhered to on crafting like the K-12 curriculum. Here's the following. The curriculum shall be learner-centered, inclusive, and developmentally appropriate. The curriculum shall relevant and research-based, contextualized and global, culture-sensitive, and the curriculum shall use pedagogical approaches that are constructivist, inquiry-based, reflected, collaborative, and integrative. The curriculum shall adhere to the principles of MTB-MLE-based multilingual education. The curriculum shall use spiral progression approach to ensure mastery of knowledge and skills after each level, and the curriculum shall be flexible enough to enable and allow schools to localize, indigenize, and enhance the same base their respective social context. These are the attributes of the K-12 teachers: multiliterate, multi-specialist, multi-skilled, and self-directed, flexible, creative problem solver, critical thinker, has passion for excellent teacher, and the high emotional quotient or an EQ. These are the junior high school. In the junior high school, grade 7 to 8, exploratory TLE. Grade 9 to 10, specialized TLE. Senior high school, there have a core subjects, tracks, contextualized track subjects. In academic track, these are the strand, general academic strand, STEM, ABM, and UMS. And technical vocational livelihood track, home economics, agri-fishery, industrial, and ICT. Sports track, and arts and design track. In senior high school, core and track subjects, there have 15 core subjects, 16 track subjects, 7 contextualized subjects, and 9 specialization subjects. So, all in all, there are 31 subjects. Each subject will have 80 hours per semester. PE and health will have 20 hours per semester for 4 semester, total of 2,480 hours. And specialized subject, in academic track, there have an accountancy, business, and management strand, or an ABM, humanities and social sciences strand, or the HUMS, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics strand, STEM, general academic strand, or GA. Specialized subject, technology, vocational and livelihood track, home economics, agri-fishery arts, information and communication technology, and the industrial arts. So that's all. Thank you for watching and listening. I hope you learned from our report. So these are the Group 5 porters. Thank you everyone. God bless.